so this is part 2 of this ridiculous audio setup. As I mentioned in part 1, the previous audio setup that I had with the Logitech 400 watt system is totally and absolutely blown out. So now we're here with the new one, and we're just gonna get it all set up, see where this takes us. So we've got Jacob over there. He's gonna be our lovely cameraman for today. I've got him hooked up on the tripod with the wheels and a bunch of lights, so let's go. This video did not go 100% as planned. Originally, we were just going to talk during it and do a bunch of stuff with it, but we ended up getting into this whole 3-hour project with switching out different units, and we just ran into error after error, so we just kind of left the camera sit on the tripod and record, and we figured I would just voice over it afterwards. So first, starting off, we kind of unboxed the Rockville subwoofer, the speakers, and then I kind of already unboxed the speaker wire anyways earlier on. So after we got done unboxing that, we started trying to see how long we were going to need our speaker wire to be, so we started cutting everything up. At first, we were just using a couple knives to try to strip all the wire down, but for whatever reason, I did not think about using wire strippers, so Jacob had a few words to say about that one.
You see what Parker does? He had wire strippers, right? He had some, like, he doesn't have some personally, but they exist in this household. He told me to use a knife. See what this man puts me through?
Alright, so a little bit of a switch up here. The Sony system only has speaker channels, and the one sub-channel that it has is the wrong independence, and it's a proprietary connector anyway, so that is not going to work. So, in order to solve this, we ran over to my mother's to grab my trusty 1998 JVC system. So, this thing was pretty good for its time, and it's not specific independence levels. It has a variable independence level for both the speakers and the subs. So we're gonna get everything switched over into this, since this actually has a regular subwoofer port. And then we're gonna load in our tape, okay? And we're gonna start playing bass mechanics on our tape, all right? So let's go. After we found out that the Sony unit wasn't going to work, we ran over to my mom's, grabbed the JVC, and we started working on it. So we just put the JVC in place of the Sony, started connecting back up the speaker wires into the right ports this time, and then Jacob got amazed at technology that was totally and completely ahead of its time. Why isn't this
I love that. I love that. Hold on.
You ready to do this for real this time?
Yep.
Alright, you ready? You ready? I'm so excited! Okay, you ready? You got camera?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Okay, wait. Okay.
Yeah. It's true, please. Not away. The spaceship now, space cadet. Wait, legend in my habitat. Ain't right stage like a laser tag. Fuck a rich bitch, and I'm rich set. Smoke like a tree, need a weed plant. I did take a lane with a lean back. Sleeping on these keys, there's a beanbag. Got me going jeans, cause I'm cool right. Check that from my feet. Like a halo with nobody. Shut up, don't listen to me. Nobody, let it be.
I mean, at least it works.
Yeah.
But that's not as powerful as I was expecting.
No.
So as you can probably tell, we were quite disappointed with the sound. Now, on camera, it does sound a lot better than it did in real life. Really, the cone sounded almost as if it was blown out, and the ports for air that it has they're incredibly small versus the power that this thing has. I mean, think it's a 12-inch 800-watt subwoofer, and the ports are about as big as my 100-watt subwoofer. So you can really hear those things, and then we eventually decided, after messing around with it some more, that we were going to try to move it into the corner of the room. We did go and check out what it sounded like in the corner and the other side of the room, and it did sound a lot better. So we just decided that we were going to cut more wire and attach it to what we already cut and had connected to the stereo, and then we were just going to move it into the corner of the room to see if that made any difference at all. Okay, so now that we've moved the sub into the corner of the room, go ahead and show that. We just finished moving the sub into the corner of the room and wiring it, and then now over here we're gonna try to play something and see if it sounds any better. Our hope is that we can have it on full gain back there and not hear the air coming out of it, like poor chiefing, and the slight bit of distortion from the cone because it's a slightly lower quality sub. So, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get copyrighted so hard. Anyway. Can you hear the difference? Because I can hear it over here. Oh!
I feel it a little
That's
bit
on
as
volume
well.
1. Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they wanna know me since I hit the top. Hey, this a rolling, not a stop. Watch shit don't never stop. This the flow that got the block.
Needless to say, we were much happier with how it sounded in the corner versus with how it sounded right beside me. Now, technically, in the corner is the right place for a subwoofer anyway, but we just kind of continued to mess around with this for a little bit longer until we were sure that we were happy with it.
The moment, but it came to win. Y'all don't wanna play with him. Every morning you like.
We were still messing with settings and equalizers. We weren't completely happy with the sound quite yet though. There was still a couple pretty big issues. So to start off, we had a 60 Hz hum, which was absolutely not fun. At first it didn't bother me, but now it is the next day and I'm editing this and I did have to take a crack at it and fix it today. I used an extension cord to go all the way around to wire it into the same power strip that the stereo was plugged into so that I could get rid of that stupidly annoying 60 Hz hum. And then the other issue was that you could still hear the air coming in and out of the subwoofer and the cone was still really loud. Now, after using it pretty much all night and all day today, it is starting to slightly fade away even though it's a pre-owned subwoofer. It is starting to fade away, it's not smelling as badly, so for whatever reason, maybe it just wasn't broken in, I'm not exactly sure. But needless to say, it is definitely working now and it was worth the $300. I definitely bumped up my sound quality just a tad with the Polk Audio speakers, and then with the subwoofer, I mean, it's a totally different experience. I'm not feeling it as much here at my desk since it's a concrete floor and I put it back in the corner. Normally, I'm used to having my subwoofers right next to me on the right side of me, but this will definitely do for now, and for a $300 budget audio setup, this definitely was not bad. It helps that I didn't have to pay anything for the stereo since I already had it and I bought it a long time ago. So for a $300 budget audio setup for both editing and listening to music, and, you know, the occasional movie, this will definitely work out, and I'm pretty happy with what we have. One last side note, I will be making separate reviews on both the Polk Audio T15 speakers and the Rockville 12-inch 800-watt Bass Blaster subwoofer, so stay tuned for those two. I will link them at the end of this video whenever I have them done, but I do want to wait a little while, maybe a week or two, before I start working on those because I definitely want to give them a proper and full review. A little bit more. Anyway, alright, so that's gonna conclude this one. It's okay. That's my thoughts on it.